Karen's laugh was a chainsaw, slicing through the quiet dusk by Willow Lake. She stood like a self-appointed queen, her bulk blocking the dirt path I'd walked for years, smirking as if the world owed her rent. "This lake's ours now," she declared, jabbing a meaty finger at the shimmering water behind her. "HOA rules. Sweetheart. Pay up or stay out." Her words weren't just a challenge, they were a slap. The kind that stings long after the sound fades. I'd lived on this land for a decade. My cabin tucked just beyond the pines. The lake my daily refuge. It wasn't just water. It was where I'd scattered my father's ashes. Where I'd taught my daughter to skip stones. Where I'd found peace after life's endless punches. Now, Karen and her HOA cronies had decided it was their piggy bank. They'd barricaded the only access road with a flimsy gate and a sign demanding a $500 lake access fee. For what? So they could fund their gated community's tacky fountain. I wasn't just mad. I was volcanic. Karen wasn't alone that evening. Two of her board members, Tim and Linda, flanked her like loyal henchmen, though Tim's nervous fidgeting betrayed his unease. Linda, clutching a clipboard, parroted Karen's nonsense about community standards and property values. The locals, me included, weren't buying it. Across from Karen stood Maria, a single mom who ran the bait shop, her voice sharp as she argued. "This lake's public land. You can't just claim it." Next to her was Old Man Jenkins, his weathered face red with fury, muttering about the days when folks shared the water, not stole it. Karen's smugness was a performance, her voice dripping with disdain. "Public? Honey, nothing's free. The HOA owns the roads now. And if you want through, you pay." She gestured at the gate, a rickety thing slapped together with plywood and arrogance. I noticed Jenkins clenching his fists, and Maria's eyes darted to me, pleading for a plan. I wasn't just fighting for my lake, I was fighting for everyone who'd been bullied by Karen's greed. The HOA's scheme wasn't new. For months, they'd been tightening their grip on the community, slapping fines on anyone who dared paint their fence the wrong shade of beige or park a boat too close to the road. Karen, the board president, was the ringleader, her ego fueled by power and a knack for making enemies. She'd once fined Jenkins $200 for leaving his canoe on his own lawn, claiming it lowered the aesthetic. Maria got a $300 penalty for her shop's neon sign, which Karen called tacky. Me? I'd been hit with a $150 fine for excessive pine needles on my property, pine needles that fell from trees older than her reign. But this lake grab was their boldest move. Willow Lake wasn't just a local gem. It was legally public, deeded as such decades ago. The HOA's claim hinged on their control of the access road, which they'd strong-armed into their jurisdiction through shady paperwork and a complicit county clerk. They thought they'd won before the fight even started. They didn't know me. I'd spent years as a small-town lawyer, handling cases from land disputes to petty theft. I knew the law like Karen knew her own reflection. That night, standing on that dirt path, I didn't yell. I didn't curse. I just stared at Karen and said, "You're breaking the law, and I'll prove it." Her laugh was louder this time, but I caught the flicker of doubt in Tim's eyes. He knew I wasn't bluffing. The next morning, I dug into the county records. It took 3 days of coffee-fueled research. But I found it, the original 1962 deed confirming Willow Lake as public land, with a public easement for the access road. The HOA's claim was built on a clerical error or a forged amendment buried in a 2019 filing. I cross-referenced it with state law. Blocking a public easement was illegal, and fining access to public land was extortion. Karen's empire was a house of cards. And I had the wind. I rallied Maria and Jenkins, forming a small coalition. We filed a formal complaint with the county, citing the easement violation and demanding an injunction. Karen, predictably, doubled down. She sent me a letter in HOA letterhead, naturally threatening a $1,000 fine for defamation. I framed it. Then I escalated. At the next town meeting, the room was packed. Locals who'd been silent for months showed up, their grievances spilling out. Maria spoke of her shop's fines, Jenkins of his canoe, others of Karen's endless rules. I presented the deed, the easement, and the forged amendment, projecting them on a screen for all to see. The crowd's murmurs grew into a roar. Karen, seated at the front, turned the color of overripe tomatoes. This is nonsense, she barked, slamming her hand on the table. But the evidence was ironclad. The county judge, a no-nonsense woman named Clara, wasn't amused. She ordered an immediate halt to the HOA's lake fees and roadblock. But I wasn't done. I filed a class action lawsuit on behalf of the community, accusing the HOA of illegal interference, extortion, and fraud. The damages, a cool $3 million, calculated from the collective fines, lost access, and emotional distress inflicted on dozens of residents. Karen's downfall was swift. The lawsuit exposed her board's shady dealings, kickbacks to the county clerk, falsified documents, even skimming HOA funds for personal use. Tim cracked first, spilling everything in exchange for leniency. Linda tried to flee town, but was caught trying to sell her overpriced condo. Karen, ever defiant, took the stand in court, her voice shrill as she claimed she was protecting the community. The judge wasn't buying it. The HOA was dissolved, its assets seized to pay the $3 million judgment. Karen's house, her pride and joy, was auctioned off to cover her share. The day the barricade came down, the lake sparkled like it knew it was free. Maria reopened her bait shop, sign glowing brighter than ever. Jenkins paddled his canoe, grinning like a kid. I walked the path to the lake, my daughter skipping stones beside me, and felt my father's presence in the breeze. Karen, last I heard, she'd moved to a cramped apartment in the city, her name a local punchline. She tried to seize what wasn't hers, and our lake had the last word. Justice isn't just a gavel's bang. It's the quiet ripple of a stone on water, reminding you some things can't be owned. Karen learned that the hard way. So did her board. And for the first time in years, Willow Lake belonged to everyone again. The end.